Well, hello again. In all sincerity, I had not planned on making another video today. But I got a response to the video that I put out this morning. Unfortunately, in some ways, it was from a subscriber that doesn't know me in any way and found me off of another page and decided to start to follow me. Cool. However, the little thing that I saw this morning on Fox about some of the people in charge of Texas finding ways to take money that's meant for pandemic relief and put it into defense spending against the wall, or against basically foreigners coming into our country. I'm not going to read the whole comment because you can see it. I'm not going to take it down. I'm going to go over a couple of things on this comment, and then I'm going to go back over the video a little bit. The actuality is I was not born in a liberal state. I was born here in Portland, Oregon. And when I was a kid, Portland wasn't a liberal state. I actually think right around the time I was born, we still had a couple of racist bastards on our city council, in our government, helping to run this place. Oregon was a Republican state for a long time. When my mom came out of the closet to me, when I was far younger, I didn't tell people, because at that time the AIDS crisis was going on. And the majority of the people I went to school with looked at the AIDS crisis as a gift from God, because that's how their parents looked at it, because that's how Reagan looked at it. It was a gift from God against these sinning gay fucks. That is how Oregon looked at gay people when I was growing up. My mom worked crisis lines because the chance of getting beaten if known to be gay was high in this state. In my 20s, when I first came back, skinheads ran downtown. There's a reason I was able to talk so deeply about skinheads in a previous video. Those bastards were all over the city. Downtown, east side, north or south, take a frickin' choice. They were there. So I didn't come from a liberal state. It became liberal as time went along. But when I was growing up, it was not. The N-word, the sand N-word, those are things I heard kids say constantly. And I am in one of the whitest states. Make sure you know and understand that too. Oregon, one of the whitest states in the entire goddamn United States, period. As a matter of fact, this state was more or less founded by people that didn't want black folk around at all. I haven't looked all of this up again to get all the isms and continuities and everything about it, but the people that founded Oregon were not wanting people of color here, and they did a damn good job on it for a long time too, because we are still to this day one of the least colored states out there. This place is white as frickin' hell. Even after 15 years of state expansion by being known across the country as Portland. Oh, you mean Portland, Oregon, not Portland, Maine? Yeah, it was Portland, Maine when I was a kid. All the way over here, it was Portland, Maine if you talked about Portland. Unless you were right here in Portland. This is a lumber state. Has been for forever. Highly, deeply Republican. You get out of Portland, you still find some of the shit I was talking about when I was younger. It hasn't moved very far away. It hasn't gone away. It's a constant battle in this state, as a matter of fact, because of how deeply divided we are between the libertards and the republicards. And I'm not as liberal as some people think. I believe in guns. And I believe the death penalty should never be completely taken off the table. Because there are people out there that we shouldn't pay to keep alive. You diddled a child? I don't need you here. You killed a child? I don't need you here. You killed a woman because she wouldn't go out with you? I don't need you here. I'm a little rougher than some on that, and I know that. But I also know there are people here that they're not going to do good. Doesn't matter how much you try and reform them. Any beast, any animal that gets the taste of something wants it again and again. We talk about that with other animals. Oh, that animal's got the taste for blood, got to put it down. Human, oh, we have to figure a way to fix you. We can't just put you down. That's inhumane. No, it's the most humane thing you could do. And I know, people aren't going to stand with me on that one. A lot of people that I know are anti-death penalty. And that's fine. They have every right to be. And I hope we truly find a time in this world, in our civilization's history, of where the death penalty truly can go away. But at this point, I don't see it. We got too many weirdos. So I'm not as liberal as some people think. What I am is aware. And I have been for a long time. This awareness started in my early 20s, when I first stepped out of Portland, when I actually stepped out of the little box I had grown up in. And I went across different states, and I saw different view of the world by living outside. That is when things started to change for me, when I really saw how differently things can be for the same person in this country. And my mind grew from there. And I am greatly aware that there is systemic racism bred into our system. I've been aware of that for quite a while. And I even heard an NPR conversation on it years ago, when it was still kind of, ooh, don't touch that. Because even though we don't want to say this out loud, this country's system is built off of slavery. Yes, we're the country that did away with slavery, but we're still built off of that slave mentality. You have one person controlling many, paying them as minimal as they need to, so that they have to continue going back every day, making minimum. And we as a country kept that minimum wage down for so long that people truly could not survive. Because again, the minimum wage, when it was first set out, the minimum wage was supposed to guarantee you as a single person the ability to live on your own, eat, potentially buy a car, get some fun shit, and go out every once in a while. And also maybe even be able to save like $50, $100 a month, so you got something for the future. That hasn't been a minimum wage. That hasn't been a minimum wage thing for a long time. We're just getting back to where some places with $15 an hour as a start, get a roommate, you might actually have a pretty comfortable life. But we're still not there. I truly believe $25 an hour is almost the minimum of what people need to live now. And I mean live. I don't mean just survive. I don't mean just get your bills paid, barely have food in there, worry about what's going to happen with your kids. Like, oh crap, hope you don't do anything because I got to pay next month's rent. See where the rent. I mean, that's where a lot of people are at. And it may not be this particular person who commented. Maybe they've never dealt with that. Maybe they've never seen that. And that's fine and good for you. If you've never had the strife in your life of where you've had to choose between food and taking care of a child's ailment, fucking great for you. If you had to choose between your kid's medicine and rent, never had to deal with that, good for you. There's a lot of people in this country that have, and a lot of people that do that constantly. And earlier when I said we're still dealing with this pandemic, I'm well aware that we have the vaccine. I'm well aware that we are actually getting a decent amount of people on the vaccine. Thank God. I got to go into a store today without a mask. I got to see my barista's face for the first time in over a year. Cuter than I thought. But we are still dealing with the fallout of this epidemic. We still have some red states that just don't want to do vaccinations. Don't need that stuff. Well, you're going to have a persistent problem for a while. But the fallout I was thinking of was the financial fallout that we still have a lot of people going through. The eviction rollback keeps getting pushed back because there are parts of our government that understand as soon as this happens, we as a country are kind of predatory and we're going to feast upon this. Like, oh, all of them out. Okay, $50 in paint, redo it, raise it $300 for the next person. Because I need to make the money up. Even though there's a lot of programs out there for all of these people to get paid back. That's what some of this pandemic money was supposed to be. That is what I was getting upset about. Is the fact that there in Texas, where I know people are having food problems, housing problems, childcare problems, clothing problems, instead of finding a way to take that money and invest it into yourself, invest it into us, you use it to patrol the border. And here's where I wanted to get into a couple of things. So I actually wrote a couple of little things down about was I wrong or not. When it comes to immigrants, I don't think so. I know a lot of immigrants. I have heard their stories. I have heard people from North Korea who took several bullets back in my 20s trying to escape that country so they could come to America. Showed up here with 3 bullet holes in his belly, but glad as hell to be here. I've heard plenty of stories from people from Mexico and people from South America. There are drug lords down there. And they do ravage the villages. They will take the children of families and conscript them right into their army. There are ugly, ugly things going on in the rest of the world. And this place, where yes, we do still have the Statue of Liberty standing outside of New York saying, bring me your weary, bring me your downtrodden. I was right about that too. That was something we held to for a long time. Come here, make life better. And we have proven over and over and over again, when our borders are open, when we are caring to other people, when we let thoughts run freely, progress happens. Now, one of the biggest bitches I have ever heard throughout my life about immigrants is all the jobs they take. Well, motherfuckers, I've seen the jobs they do. And I see how few of your white asses are actually there doing those jobs. Because they're beneath you. You're better than that. You don't have to do that job. That's for them immigrants. And yet you want to bitch about them taking the job. The one you don't want to do. The one you're too good for. And those motherfuckers go out and work 2-3 jobs to take care of what they got to take care of. Now, about Trump and racism. Mary Trump herself said on multiple interviews that her family is anti-Semitic. That's racist. In case you didn't know that. And his father was arrested, I believe, in 1927 at a KKK rally. His great-granddaughter, Mary Trump, was surprised that he had left his business at all to go do anything. So in his eyes, to participate in this must have been pretty damn important. So I don't think he was just a bystander. His business was his thing. That was it. That was all he was about, was his business. So if he went out of his way to be in a KKK rally, he was more than just a bystander. You can try and slice it any way you want, but the reality is he was so focused on his business that his own granddaughter is surprised that he would have left to do anything. And let's look at Trump's own little moments here and there. I ain't got to cover many of them. We can cover Africa being that piece of shit country. Why do we have to take people from them? Can't we get some folks from Sweden? I think that's the one he said was frickin' Sweden, the whitest damn country in the world. So let's get them. They're great people. Why do we gotta take them people from that shit-ass country of Africa? With that shithole country people gotta come here. He said that. He also raged and railed and wailed about the Black Lives Matter logo being painted on the street next to his Trump Towers in New York, saying how it was going to lower his profits. He didn't care about the money. He cared about black lives being celebrated. He's a fucking racist. And he did, for the last 4 years, foment racism, foment distrust. Said only to trust him. Only he would have the answers. Somebody tells you they have the answers. They don't. I'm the only person. Bullshit. You're the last person. And I'll also remind people that if you're somebody who has to go into a room telling people you're stable and a genius, you're not. At all. Even a little bit. And if you don't think racism is really happening in the Republican Party, what's that one crazy bitch? Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't know, am I mixing her up with a... I try not to know her name because she's just a racist fucking idiot who I really don't want to spend much of my day knowing about. I have to be aware of her idiotism. It doesn't mean I have to pay attention to her and give her my time. I'm aware of her. I'm aware of a whole bunch of others. We got that other one little bastard who's basically in cahoots with more or less with the sex ring. He's going to go down. He keeps trying to bash it away, but it keeps coming. So I'm not wrong about that. Trump showed his racism over and over and over and over again these last 4 years. I love the blacks. The fuck you do. See if there's anything else in here. I think that's mostly it. Jotted some things down on a piece of scratch paper I found. I don't think I was wrong. I don't come from such a liberal state that, especially in its origins of when I was growing up, that I had anything but liberal thoughts in my brain. No. I fought a lot of people with racist thoughts that thought they were right from the beginning. People that think somehow that this is our land. It's not. We came over and decimated the people that live here. Let's make that clear. We decimated them. We destroyed the Native American culture. We destroyed the Native American way of life. We threw them on shit pieces of land and caged them in it. We did everything we could to destroy their language, destroy their history, destroy their ceremonial burial grounds. We fucked them. And then we fucked Mexico. I said, no, ours. If you really look at American history, if you don't listen to the little glossing you're given by whatever person you decided to listen to and not go further in exploration, you would know America has never been pretty. That's why it's a grand experiment. We're trying to figure shit out. We're still trying to figure shit out. And I'm not going to take the comment down. It can stay there. However, when people respond like this, I hit a button. I hit your fox watching. I hit your belief that them brown-skinned folk just should not be in your country. Should not come here legally or illegally. They just should not be here. I hit something. For somebody to have gone from as nice and kind as they were with all their comments from when they found me to this, I hit a nerve. And I don't care. Because I hit a nerve of truth. Some of the things I said may be a little grandiose, maybe a little far-fetched, maybe a little bit of a dream. Sure, yeah. No politician that's running the state's ever going to give any money back, ever. Of course not. You should find things to do with it. Like take care of your people. Not go spruce up the border patrol and a wall that we don't need. And that's it. That's what I gotta say.